Hello, and welcome to the Dads of Adventure podcast. Uh, Today, we are going to continue our Father's Day Extravaganza special series here. Before we get started with that, I just want to remind you to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app, wherever that may be. That helps us to get more people, so I appreciate it. If you're watching this on video, we do have this is in podcast form. If you're listening on the podcast, this is available on video form on YouTube at the DreamsMagicAdventure channel, and subscribe there as well. And you can also find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Dads of Adventure. And please go to the website dadsofadventure.com to sign up for the email list, because you never know when all social media can change from time to time. You may not see certain posts, so please also find us there and subscribe to the email newsletter, so that way we can get in touch with you if there's any new things that you need to know about. And that is where the membership is as well, where you can get further information on how to have positive Disney experiences, and with your family, and just things like ways to get, if you're flying, to get through the airport, knowing about some of the different services that are provided, like the Magical Express, learning a little bit more about, and some of these things may change from time to time. So this, knowing how to get from your form of transportation into the park, and kind of knowing what things may be coming, so that you can prepare for those and have a more positive experience. So you're starting your day positively, instead of otherwise. So that's what it's all about. And you also get to talk with other like-minded Disney dads who are also trying to have a positive life adventures and Disney adventures with their family. And using the language of Disney, we can talk about all of those things, and share those things as well, and build each other up. So that's what it's all about. This particular episode, again, it's part of the Father's Day Extravaganza, where we'll have episodes throughout the week before Father's Day 2020. And this one is an episode I kind of was thinking about already. Myself and my wife, which you can find her at DreamsMagicAdventure. We are part of the Disney Parents Panel, which you can find on Instagram at Disney Parents Panel, or on go there, and then you can find all the information and where to find. But we do some like top 10 lists and things like that on there. So this is, the theme this week was to think of what are some of the top 10 like dad like experiences. So whether that's an experience that you like as a dad, going into the parks, or if it's an experience that you like to experience with your dad. So is the top 10 list. So you can check that top 10 list out, see what we came up with, again at Disney Parents Panel on Instagram, and you can find links there to get to the blog site that will have all of that listed. But that's a good place to start, and follow us at the Disney Parents Panel as well. This was just kind of me brainstorming on the top 10 list. I honestly don't know exactly how many I have. It's probably more than 10. I always come up with more and then have to pare it down and number those. So you're going through my brain process with me as I'm coming up with these, and we might come up with some more along the way. These are just what I've written down so far. So I thought I'd talk about those because they're dad experiences, and thought they'd fit right in with the Father's Day theme here. So one of the things that I look forward to as a dad, and being able to find as a dad, is stroller friendly forms of transportation. This may not apply to everybody, but we have a big double stroller, and I am very thankful for the boat system, the the friendship the friendship system, where you can pretty much get around different parts of Walt Disney World, without having to fold a stroller, unless it's like a super busy day. And that may change. I don't know. Yeah, who knows what the when that will change. But for the most part, right now, um, as we're recording this, that was what the previous precedent was. Also monorails, um, and the Skyliner. If you have a small enough stroller, you can normally slide that into the middle. But you may have to fold it if there are more people on that or whatnot. Buses, you definitely have to fold the strollers. So one of my favorite things as a dad is finding a stroller-friendly form of transportation. Sometimes that means I can sit down, sometimes not. Um, but even if I'm standing there with the stroller, just not being able to enjoy the transportation and what's going on, instead of thinking about my exit and how I'm going to unfold the stroller, how I'm going to get past the people, all the things that you may be thinking about as a dad. I enjoy, as a dad, stroller friendly forms of transportation. So um, that is just kind of a something that one thing. Um, and getting into the parks a little bit, I love the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. I think it's where you can definitely like get that adventurous spirit. My boys love it. Um, at when they Right now they're at the point where they're anytime they're saying Indiana Jones, it's a different pronunciation of it. But they're like, "There's that guy," and they haven't watched the Indiana Jones movies because those are a little bit older. But the Stunt Spectacular is a way for them to experience Indiana Jones at a little more um, uh, I don't know, PG level, I guess, instead of some of the Indiana Jones movies that might be a little bit much for them at the moment. Um, so they haven't seen those yet. But that and so going from the adventurous side to I really like to sing, um, and I don't know if I sound good or not to other people, but it really doesn't matter when you go to the Frozen sing along. So one of my things as a dad I love, and is not just me, but um, I have in my car, when I'm taking my boys to school, we'll often be listening to Disney music. There was one point where we had a lot of the Disney songs like memorized and could just sing them off, even if we didn't have the actual music playing at the same time. Um, we have a little bit shorter drive, so that it's not as much now, but I can sing a pretty good amount of them. And when you have the bouncing ball in the Frozen sing along, I can sing pretty well to those. Um, so I this wasn't necessarily direct advice from another dad, but it was something I experienced. I think the first time that we went to the Frozen sing along, this was before I had any kids. But there was a guy that was there. He's definitely like a guy's guy. I don't know. You can imagine whatever that may be, but he was there with his grandchildren, and um, he stated as we got ready for this Frozen sing along experience, I may not sing pretty, but I'm gonna sing loud. So I took that as inspiration of like, yes, you can always um, sing loud and get into that experience, and don't worry about what other people are thinking. So that's a good way to get over it and move on, not worry about what other people are thinking. So that's a big part of being a Disney dad, is just being able to live in that moment, to share those experiences, and again, not worry about what people are thinking, because you may not sing pretty, but you can sing loud. So um, some of the other things I like to do are just kind of like, um, things that I can help with, keeping my family going during the day. And not that we don't take breaks. I like to find some good places to take breaks from time to time as well. But I like to keep the popcorn buckets filled, so I may like run ahead or hang back and then catch up. We use the re we use the refillable popcorn buckets quite often, um, and we think they're a great value for us because our sons can go through like a bucket of popcorn like nothing, before we can even get to the next popcorn stand. It's not like we're and so a lot of times in between meals, that's a great way to um, just get like a salty snack, especially on like a hot day, and that goes well with ice water. So one of the biggest tips I can give anybody that's going to Walt Disney World, and Disneyland's is a little bit different, but at Walt Disney World, you can pretty much always, at most quick services, and you have to kind of figure out which ones do this. You can find a small cup of ice water. Now they don't have lids anymore, because lids were taken away, so it makes it a little more challenging. But you can get a few cups of ice water. They don't like limit you on how many you take. If you ask for 8, they'll give you 8. A lot of times they have them ready to go, so the ice may be a little bit gone by that time. But it is nice and refreshing. Um, we don't like to carry a bunch of like liquids and bottles with us. If you do, that's great, but that try to limit that on the weight side of things. We'll refill like our boys' water bottles with those, or sometimes we'll just go with the cups and get them when we need them. Some places um, have like pitchers of water. Like in Hollywood Studios, you can find that like in the Starbucks out off in the corner often, or the I'm not thinking of it's one of my favorite places, but the Ship um, quick service restaurant. You can find that there. Often it's not always, so it depends. Like in Magic Kingdom at Gaston's, they'll often have that on a hot day, but sometimes not. So there's lots of places to find like cold water, and you can pretty much always get cups of water again at most quick services. And I would recommend too not waiting in line for those. We're getting more into the tips and tricks, and I'll bring that back here in a moment. But you can and go to like um, the mobile pickup area, and they'll just give them to you. You don't necessarily have to um, wait in the full line for those as well. So sometimes there may be some of the places are closed down for the night. It's getting ready for fireworks time, whatever. So I enjoy providing for my family in that way. I may go way across the park to get find that place that's still open and get the ice water. Sometimes I'm surprised. I went to like a little stand that's across from Pecos Bills um, in Frontierland, and they had this really nice tray that made it really easy to carry the water. So I took 8 because we had some friends there with us at the time too, and it was carrying these 2 trays of water through Liberty Square and back to the hub right before the fireworks. So that was cool. It's nice that they provide that. So I'm on a mission when I'm going to find that water and try to bring it back. And if every place could have those carrying trays, if you're listening Disney, that's great. It was just a bonus there. But yeah, I'm not afraid of getting some water on me when I'm trying to carry a few more cups than I probably should. So um, and navigating that, trying to get back with that water, which people will probably get out of your way, and make room if you're coming with some ice water. Um, Navigating crowds with a stroller, and I'm not talking about like being belligerent with a stroller or running over people's feet or ankles and stuff like that, or forcing your way through, but there is kind of a method to the madness of crowds and how to get through them, um, without getting um, getting upset or getting frustrated. Um, there's kind of like a mutual, for the most part, there's like a mutual respect of space, and most people, when they see um, a stroller coming, I will try to make find a space that where there aren't people. So I like you know that adventure and that challenge of getting through um, crowds and things like that sometimes. It's just makes things more fun when it's a little bit of a challenge instead of trying to it being frustrating. You're like looking at a wall of people, like, okay, I'm going to take this step to get over here, and then I'm going to take that step to get over here, and so you can get a big stroller through a large crowd of people if you just look for those little openings. So I really enjoy that, and taking the time to do that. Sharing some large snacks. Going back to, I know on the building, I think it says SS down the hatch, but the name of the actual quick service I am blanking on at the moment and should have written that down. But it is, they have this Carolina foot-long hot dog, which has like, it's a foot-long hot dog, and which is delicious in itself, but it also has barbecue on it. Um, so it is quite filling. So, when I'm there, just with my boys, or if I have them and we're trying to just get, something quickly, that's often a good snack for us between meals. It's a good meal too. I mean, it's big, but we can share that. So I enjoyed just sitting down and sharing a snack real quick before we move on to the next thing. Um, that's just kind of a nice experience. Um, may not be able to do that in the future. I don't know, but we'll see. But we're talking about memories here, so this is what I'm the perspective I'm coming from. So one of the experiences that is kind of a cool experience is, as a dad, and I'll explain a little bit further, is going to meet with Gaston over by Gaston's Tavern. And it's not all the time, but he's sometimes there. Um, and I don't recommend being like Gaston or thinking like Gaston or um, speaking like Gaston. If you can tell, I'm trying to do the song there, but I don't know if I'm doing it very well. But anyway, the I don't recommend Gaston's character as a role model. So let's keep that separate from the experience here. So, but I have seen some cool dad pictures of like Gaston, like lifting up the person's shirt to get them some more muscle mass there. It's just a little fun experience, and it's a little bit more um, dad centric. I don't know, but anybody can do it. You can all go meet Gaston, no problem, whatever. But just something that is kind of neat um, there. Again, don't be like Gaston. Don't think like Gaston. Don't eat like Gaston. I guess I don't know. I don't think you want all those eggs, raw eggs. But the meet and greet is interesting. So there you go. All right, and last couple things here, leading up to one of my favorite things is watching fireworks with my kids. Um, Whether that's them, being in the stroller, and maybe behind them, but getting to see their faces and stuff. I will. I try to be respectful of other people that are behind me. Um, so I'm not. I like the putting my sons on my shoulders situation, but I'll only do that if it's not blocking somebody else's view. So, um, but I do like that, so as a dad. So I'll say that. Um, and but otherwise, I love to see their faces. I love to, experience those things with them, because it's always still magical, to see, see a fireworks show, see them from different perspectives, things like that, and finding a good spot to see those. So that's always a good dad moment, for me, is, just done everything a lot of things we're gonna do for the day. We're taking a moment to just sit there, enjoy that show, and then we may spend another couple hours, depending on how long the park is open. We'll see. If it's Epcot, then you're going to get kicked out normally at that point. But we enjoy that. And final thing, it's a small thing, but it just goes to show that you can find adventure anywhere, and make memories with small things as well. So one of the things that we did, I believe this started one stay that we had at the Caribbean Beach Resort. My son had this Arendale, like Sven Ice Master and Deliverer shirt, and so I just made it we needed to go get ice for the Yeti cups, and I think a cooler, I can't remember, but we needed to go get ice, in whatever the ice machine was, and so I made it I made it an experience. I'm like, I need you to be the ice master and deliverer with me, and he's like, okay, let's go. And so we went and got our ice, delivered the ice. He was excited to show, like, Mom, look, I got the ice. I'm the ice master and deliverer. Can't remember if that's exactly what he said, but something like that. He was excited. We'll just say that. And then, but he still remembers that. Like, just randomly, sometimes he'll say, hey, do you remember when we went and got ice that one time? So it just goes to show that, you can create a really, engaging memory, that your kid will remember for a long time. Just with something as simple as going to get ice. It's like, it was just a moment where it was like, okay, we're going to go do this. We're going to get this done, but we're going to have some fun with it, for this morning task before we do whatever we're going to do for the day. And it was just fun, and, getting out, in the resorts, finding a nice spot, to start the day, also great. But, I'll definitely remember that all my life, because, my kid, my son's remembering that, again, just randomly, random days, he'll remember that, and, say, hey, do you remember when that happened? So that makes me feel good as a dad. So that's pretty much, my list here. I'm sure there could be other things I add to it. There might be, but that's what I have for now. And so I will we'll go ahead and end that there. And again, if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, please rate and review us. And if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not, please do go to the Dreams Magic Adventure channel, where you can find not only this podcast, but lots of our family adventures and travel videos and things like that as well. Lots of fun stuff at Dreams Magic Adventure YouTube channel. And find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Dads of Adventure. Follow us all the places there, and go to dadsofadventure.com so you can get signed up for the email list, as well as get signed up for the membership, so you can get further information on how to have positive Disney experiences, and we'll get to other things as well along the way, and share all those fun things with other fellow like-minded positive Disney dads trying to have positive life experiences with their families. So with that, again, go have an adventure with your family. Signing off for this Father's Day Extravaganza episode. I'll say it one more time. Go have an adventure with your family.